as we introduce the athletes for the final of the 4x100 metres for men. In lane 1, the Germans, Bloom, Konicki, Hook and Gorma. Lane 2, Ivory Coast. Surin would be their best runner. He runs the back straight. Lane 3, the Americans. There's John Drummond, who has been in brilliant form this year. He's given Linford Christie a couple of terrific races. He gives it to Cason in the back straight, to Mitchell and to Burrell. And Mitchell and Burrell have been in the 5 fastest teams ever. Colin Jackson, the hurdler, arrived back in Stuttgart this morning after going to a wedding last night in England, after breaking the world record Friday night in Stuttgart. They've got their 4 medalists going here. Jackson to Jarrett to Regis to Christie. A big change. Had their first workout at 2:15 this afternoon. That's 2¼ hours ago. And the British have never been so confident. There's Frank Dick. Rather, there's Esmie. Frank Dick, the British coach, said he's never seen them so motivated. Esmie of Canada, they've got a terrific team. Here's the Australians. Phil Henderson to Damien Marsh to Dean Capobianco to Jackson. Paul Henderson and Tim Jackson. What a great moment for them. 38.46, the Australian record. Here's the Swedes. And in lane 8 will be the Cubans. The Canadians have got Esmie, Gilbert, Surin and Mahorn. Live with the javelin, there is Hadderstad. That one at about 62.5, but she leaves the competition with 69.18. Not happy with that, but in the gold medal position. Simón of Cuba, they go from lane 8. Well, there's Mitchell getting psyched up for the Americans. He's run the bend in all the fast races. Normally Lewis runs the anchor and Burrell runs the back straight, but Burrell anchoring. Carl Lewis has gone home, and John up. There's Christie after what we saw in the semi-finals. This world record certainly on, and the Brits fancy their chances.
Well, you wouldn't think the British would, but certainly with the Americans, they're going to challenge this world record. They equalled it yesterday, and I believe if they get the batting changes right and Burrell can run a great last 100, they will break the world record.
Look at the comb sitting there in John Drummond. Now, Australia could possibly get a medal here. We're up against the Canadians for 3rd.
Australia will probably have to improve about half a second, but this is the big one. Anything's possible.
Well, Drummond's an extrovert. There's no question about that. Running with a comb in his hair. Well, what do you say about that? There's been a lot of stick between the Brits and the Americans here, and I think that might be part of that. Set. Away. Jackson goes for Britain. Henderson, Australia. Drummond for the United States. Esmie for Canada. Well, Jackson's hailed Drummond early. First of the changes. Jarrett to get it. Cason's got it. Marsh about to be passed by the Canadians in the back straight. Oh, Cason's flown the back straight. Taking a lot of ground off Jarrett. Gives it to Mitchell. They're away now. Regis going. Capobianco in the ruck. Regis coming hard with Mitchell. Burrell to get it with Christie. Burrell in front. Christie in trouble. Burrell sailing away. Christie coming hard with Surin. Burrell's going to do it. Watch for the world record. They'll be under it. No, they missed it. 37.49. Christie second and Surin third. The Australians didn't have such a good run. 37.49. Drummond Cason was the man in the back stretch. Mitchell and Burrell. Well, it's one of the fastest ever run. The world record was 37.40. There's Christie. He ran Surin down for the silver. Jarrett had a good lead on Cason in the back, but Cason just ate away at it. There's Regis and Christie. Regis second in the 200. I thought Regis ran a very good bend against Mitchell. He held his own. There's Burrell on the left. And John Drummond will get the time shortly. Surin of Canada. Celebrating now, the Americans. Well, John Drummond has been outrageous, to say the least. He's made some friends, and there's a lot of other people who've thought differently of him. The way he's carried on here after the semi-final. But he is celebrating. Let's leave it for a moment. We'll get the results because Conway's on the runway at 2:34, another American. There's the Canadians. We're about to get some times. 37.48 for the US, 39.77 for 37.77 for the Brits. That's a British record. They've broken their record in second placing. Canada third, 37.83. Surely that's a Canadian record as well. Cuba 38.39. Australia has finished fifth in 38.69. It's a very good effort for Australia. So national records going to the Brits and also to the Canadians. Cuba was fourth, Australia fifth, not far outside our national record. Germany sixth, Ivory Coast seventh, and Sweden eighth. So for Henderson, Marsh, Kappa, Bianco, Jackson, that's a tremendous achievement by the Australians. Here's the final. You can see Christie was giving Burrell too much start. Kappa's given it over to Jackson. Now what we've got here is Burrell, former world record holder, the man who won in Zurich. Christie, the world and Olympic champion. Surin, the Canadian national record holder, who was fifth in the 100-metre final. Going for it. Look at Christie and Surin on their way to national records. Their teams have never run faster. Burrell missing the world record by 7/100ths. They got it yesterday. But Burrell steaming away. Won the gold medal at the Olympics in 92 in the relay when he ran the back straight, and also in Tokyo in 91. And the US coming home to win again. Great Britain second, Canada third, and Australia in fifth placing. So Burrell anchoring as Lewis has done so often in the past. We take a break from Stuttgart and back with more after this. Welcome back. Here's John Drummond celebrating after the 4x1. Well, the only thing I can say about John is that I think he cost him the world record today because Jackson put a bit of ground him in the first 100 metres. Perhaps if the comb hadn't been in the hair at the start, things might have been a bit better for him. He has carried on a little here. The Americans haven't made all that many friends with their relay team. They've been a little too arrogant and a little too cocky. They're great runners, Mitchell and Burrell, but Drummond, well, he didn't cop what he went on with last night, but what he's doing tonight, I guess some of the people here like it, but there's a few people that finished second, third, fourth and fifth that ran their hearts out that aren't enjoying it quite so much. So the Brits celebrate a national record and the Australians have done very well in fifth placing. As Drummond continues in the back straight, holding court, the man who wasn't quite good enough to make the 100 metres individual American team, finished fourth, but he has run quite brilliantly in Europe this year. As we leave the 4x1 and come across to the javelin at 7 minutes as the Americans continue to celebrate the 4x1. We'll be back from Stuttgart with more after this. That's it. So that drama in the 10,000 metres, we've seen a lot of it lately as the presentation for the 4x100 metres is taking place. Canadian team who broke their national record, Esmie, Gilbert, Surin and Mahorn. The British were second in the national record and the Americans just missed out on the world record, but they got the gold medal. Drummond to Cason, to Mitchell, into Burrell. They equalled the world record yesterday. There's the national record, 37.83 for Canada. Haddestad still leads the javelin competition, appears to have the gold medal there. Forkel in second placing, Shikolenko third, and in the high jump, Sotomayor has the gold medal. He has 2 more attempts at the world record. Partika, who was a medalist last year at the Olympic Games, who was equal third with Tim Forsyth and Hollis Conway, has the silver here with a national record of 37, and Smith also did 37 and got the bronze on a countback. I believe Tim Forsyth and the Australians have protested
the national anthem of the United States of America
over his second attempt at 2:31, and we've got no word on that as yet. As we stand by for the American national anthem. 12 of the fastest men in the world on the victory dais after the 4x1. Cason, who was second in the 100, and Mitchell, who was third, getting gold medals here, along with Burrell and Drummond. Christie and Jackson adding silvers. As we leave the presentation and go to the jab.